is up, everybody? So we have this Lotus. Doesn't really look like a Lotus, but it's built on a Lotus chassis. So I covered this a little bit in my last video, and I talked about it. It was here before, but there was a lot of stuff that wasn't basically ready for the dyno, so you had to take care of a lot of stuff. There's a lot of cool things on this. Powered by, of course, Honda. And last video I was a little bit more under the weather. Had a couple minutes to check out. I was talking about his aero, which it's actually going to be electronic. So you can see the hydraulic ram or the electric ram right here. I'm trying to get my phone in here. And that is going to pull cables. One cable attached there, other cable attached here, which ultimately goes upwards. You can't see it, and it's going to pull up and down on that, which is cool. Now, depending on how this is set up electronically, this can all be controlled by Haltech, which is a really cool feature and option. So let's say you want to set up a table where at a certain mile per hour, this is going to activate a little bit. You can have Haltech control all that. So I don't think he mentioned anything to me on that, so I don't think I have to do that. I'm going to get in. Cold start needs to be adjusted a little bit, so it's not fully hooked up to the dyno just yet. And as I was saying in my other video, this car is cool because, well, I mean, look at it, number one. Number two, it's not something you see every day. And you know, now before somebody says, well, look at the welds or look at how bad his wiring is. Hey, my rule of thumb is if it works and it's safe and it's not going to harm anybody, so be it. As far as I know, this is a wife and a husband that drive this car, and he's pretty much done everything himself, which I'm all for. You know, if you can learn, if you can do stuff yourself, you know, by all means, you know, go for it. You know, and that's how you're going to learn ultimately and keep going. And, you know, this is a track car, of course. This thing doesn't get driven on the street, as far as I know. So, of course, he's going to need to, you know, make some adjustments on the fly. He's going to have to do some stuff. He's going to have to hop in. And, you know, with a car like this, you know, let's say he loses, or let's just say he loses power to the dash. Well, he should know himself, because I'm assuming he did everything himself, you know, what exact wire he's going to have to go find or what happened or whatever. So, you know, that's kind of cool in that sense. I'm going to get this thing loaded up. I'm going to get the cold start fine-tuned in here. As I tell people, I really only got one shot at cold start until the car cools down again. So I'm going to put the camera down, and then ultimately I'm going to load it on the dyno. And I'll be back and forth on this one. Probably won't be a super long video because there's not too much technical stuff. I'll have Haltech open in a little bit, so I'll go over the Haltech program, maybe show you guys. It's really about it with this one. Definitely a car you don't see every day. Definitely a car that should be fun around corners and on a track, because it's basically just like a bigger powered version of a go-kart. And I'm just trying to document stuff so you guys can see. If you don't do this for a daily, for your living, or if you're not at the track, you probably rarely ever get to see these things. And you can see his homemade heat shield ducting. This whole cover comes down. Trying not to cut myself. That's what it looks like with the cover down. So yeah, I'll be back, guys. So I'm inside the car, and if you can hear the fuel pump is on. I think I told him about this before too. You know, when the ignition is on, fuel pump shouldn't always be on. It should come on just like a normal car, and then it should shut off just like a normal car. More so for safety stuff. Now, when I say that, basically what I'm talking, let's say for whatever reason the car gets in an accident or whatever, let's say goes off the track, and let's say a fuel line just rips off, and you go to shut the car off, and it doesn't want to, the fuel pump just wants to keep going. well, you're spraying fuel everywhere, which of course is not safe. Now he does have a master kill switch over here too, and I know 100%, I remember talking to him about that it doesn't actually shut down the whole car when you shut it off. He was aware of that too. But anyways, going back into the Haltech software. Now I got I'm just looking at cold start right now, and I'm going to dial everything in on the dyno. What I wanted to show you guys real quick. Now on top of this is the Haltech ESP software. If you have a Haltech Elite, you could switch it over so it's running the Nexus software. And I don't want to confuse people, but the Nexus software is actually a little bit easier, I guess you can say, to read or whatever. I don't know, whatever you want to say. But what I wanted to show you guys, and we're messing with cold start here. Now, what's nice is, let's just say, you know, hey, what is fuel prime pulse? I don't know. You know, what is it? You know, let's say you're doing this at your house, and you know, in my videos, I really like to educate people, so this is kind of what I'm showing you guys. Now, if you click on fuel prime pulse, and I'm opening up the tab down here, you can see it actually gives you an explanation of what it is right there in front of your face. And that goes with everything. You know, let's say, you know, let's say you know nothing at all. You know, so what does cranking do? Cranking is going to tell you that the amount of fuel being delivered after the prime pulse has occurred, but the engine RPM is still below the max cranking. When I always talk about Haltech and it being user-friendly, this is what I'm talking about. And, you know, the next video or whatever video I have when I have the Nexus software up, I'm going to show you guys that too. And all this can be set up to how you like it. It's a blank canvas slate. I have all my basic stuff that I like to see right in front of my face with my warning set up. You can have these flash, do whatever you want to do if, you know, let's say your battery voltage drops. And yeah, so I'm going to get back into this tune, and if I find any other useful stuff, I'm going to be back. And I'm going to shut the car down for now. So before I hop out of this car, I'm going to document, I wanted to show you guys real quick that Haltech has a data log viewer option. So it's their own little program. You can data log in their actual program itself, but I feel like this is a little bit easier. And you could set it up per channel. So basically, these are some channels that I have just for this car. If you're ever having, like, let's say you're trying to find a misfire or like a hiccup in the map, you can change anything of what you want to data log. As I was saying earlier in the video too, if the wing was controlled through Haltech, well, you can get pretty much a reading, or you can set it up to see how much it's actually moving up and down, so which is cool. And you could do that with pretty much anything that can talk to the computer in a sense. You can see right here, we got the battery voltage up top. Just showing you guys what you can do. Same with the RPM, coolant, VTEC on the very low down below. And I'm ultimately gonna hop out here at the beginning of the tune. So of course, you know, we got an open cockpit here. Literally, as I start getting into it, though, it starts raining down on me, which I just was recovering from COVID. Just had it. If you saw my other video, and my sense of taste and smell is just gone. So I immediately hopped out to make sure we were all good and set. Make sure it was nothing that was leaking. You know, let's say fuel was leaking, and I can smell if I really put my nose up to something and sniff. But of course, that's always an issue. I don't know what actually was getting thrown on me. And then getting into this tune, everything's good. Car's making actually really good power for the setup. And we have no more clutch. So the clutch is just gone now. I'm going to hop out and see if I see anything stupid. I do have a clutch pedal, but when I'm going to actually put it in gear, nothing. So I'm going to hop out here. I'm going to do some inspections really quick, see if I can fix it while it's on the dyno, and I'll be right back. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached a standstill. There is no more clutch. Or something's going on with the car. So basically, as I was tuning it, I went to go step on the clutch pedal. And granted, I'm about about 75% done with the tune, I think. Went to step on the clutch pedal and nothing. It wouldn't go into gear. So I started messing around with it. I looked at everything. I looked at fluid up front. I looked at the slave to make sure all the way down there the slave was doing what it wanted to do. And it seemed like the clutch pedal was actually disengaging a little bit. I guess you could say too much. So I went to step on the clutch pedal, but I didn't go all the way down. I went about 70% down. And car would go into gear, but nothing would move on the dyno. Tires wouldn't move, nothing would move. So I grabbed one of my techs and I said, hey. I said, come here. Just tell me everything looks good back there. Went to go put it in gear. It goes into gear just fine. And all of a sudden the tires start to move, which is weird. And then there's a crazy noise. I don't know what it is. Literally, it scared my tech to a point where he was standing, right here by this back tire as I'm standing. He backed away instantly and pretty much told me to shut it off. I heard the noise sitting inside. I mean, there's not many body panels, so it's easy to hear. At this point, yes, I'd like to finish the tune, but let's just say worst case scenario, let's say the clutch is backing off. Let's say the flywheel is backing off. Well, I have learned with my many years of experience, when something doesn't seem right, well, something's not right. Of course, it makes sense, right? But no, I'm being very honest here. It's, there's no sense to keep pushing it. Can I get 1 or 2 pulls maybe out of it after this? Maybe. Am I going to risk the flywheel coming apart and causing severe damage and possibly harming me because I'm sitting literally right in front of it? It's just not worth it. So I'm going to have to contact the customer. What I did want to point out, though, and I took a short little video here of the actual program, and the 2 boxes you're looking at are going to be the air fuels, and then you're looking at the short-term fuel trims. Now, since I got some extra time here, I wanted to discuss something really quick. Now, if you're running a Haltech Elite or a Haltech Platinum, you have this option. And what I just showed you basically is a computer controlling closed loop with this little guy. This is their, what do they call this one? This is a single channel wideband. We sell a lot of these. We inform people why you should get this if you're running an Elite or a Platinum. To dumb it down for you, I'm gonna assume that you don't have any tuning experience. This basically will control closed loop, which in a sense is exactly how an OEM car's computer will function. That basically means is if it's right now in the shop, it's about 40 degrees-ish, give or take, maybe a little colder. Let's say on a 110 degree day, you start the car. This is basically, consider it an O2 sensor, consider it like a nose. And the nose is gonna tell the computer, hey, it needs more fuel. And that's what you see with the short-term fuel trim is what you see of how much adjustment the car wants to make the change for. Now, when I'm tuning, this is all disabled, and the tune is 100% my tune, and I get everything exactly where I want it. And you can see that from the bottom number, and you could scroll right back if you want. The bottom number had like I think it was 0.4% adjustment that it needed, which is it's very minimal. Now, I do see some guys put these in cars and then they install them and they never get the tune. And it's like, hey, your car's commanding that it needs 28% more fuel, or it's trying to take away fuel and it can't take away that much fuel. And then I asked the customer, yeah, it was never tuned. It ran pretty good, but it was never tuned. Well, not only are you leaving stuff on the table, but so this is what this guy does. And a lot of people And I'm going to make a whole other separate video, because unless you find this video, you're not going to find that. But my whole thing is, in this video, since I don't have much more to talk about, because the car is, well, can't do much more to it. What I wanted to explain, I wanted to throw some more education in. Education, knowledge is power in my eyes, and I feel like, yeah, you guys watch this to relax, and maybe you don't need to learn anything. Maybe you don't want to learn anything, but I know some guys do. But highly encouraged to get one of these. And I will say this. Yes, we're a direct dealer of Haltech. If you order from us, we will not only support you, but you're going to get the support from Haltech. But we also know Haltech is a very big company, and they're very busy. So basically what this means is, if you support us by purchasing products from us, and I do say that, as you heard me get a little bit louder, or at least I think I did. My head's a little bit clogged still with the from COVID. But we get a lot of messages. I get a lot of messages, I should say, and the business does too. But a lot of messages are, hey, I saw such and such on YouTube. Can you help me out? Or, hey, I'm having an issue with a product, and the company, due to COVID, they won't even answer their phones. Well, as I said in my other videos, if you support me, I support you. If you buy the product from Amazon, eBay, you found the cheapest seller online, and then you're calling here for free technical support, I can't do it anymore. I can't. No more time. I don't have enough time. We really don't. I have people up front working. They have their own stuff that they have to do. It's not a free technical helpline for guys that are just buying everything off the internet as super, as dirt cheap as they can find it. With that being said, I'm going to be right back because I do got a customer rolling up right now, and I will finish up this video. So that's pretty much all she wrote, guys. I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover. I threw some education stuff in there, some educational stuff in there to feed your brain a little bit. And I would have loved to see some, I didn't even get to do some power pull videos because, well, the clutch. Would have loved to took a video for you guys, but it is what it is. I don't want to say you win some, you lose some sometimes on the dyno, but this is the stuff that sometimes happens out of the, happen out of the blue. And I'd rather not risk it, have something really bad happen. At this point, I'm going to contact the customer. If he wants to keep it here and have us look into it a little bit more, we will gladly do that. And if he wants to take it home and he wants to mess with it himself, well, he can do that too. I appreciate you guys. Take care, everybody.